All right, all right. And I can do it. Hey. Peace, 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 peace. Good morning out there, beautiful people. I'm just getting something ready real quick. And there we go. $10:30. Bam. Okay. Peace, 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 peace. There you go. Bless you. Let's see here. All right. Oh, that's what I wanted to get. I can just do it offline. Just get that. Yeah, actually, better to do it offline so y'all can see it. Oh, I got it right here anyway. Got it right here anyway. We're gonna do a little teaching out of the Good Circle 7, but I'm gonna get the link so you can see it as well. All right. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam El. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday. Well, it's raining, but it's still beautiful out this way. There's a lot going on in the world. Been away for a little bit. But we are focused here today to do some teaching. Today's class, today's build, if I could just simply find what I named the video exactly. It was Dame Dash, Moors, and Noble Dryly. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Dame Dash, Moors, and Noble Dryly. What do they all have in common? And we're going to sprinkle a little of that yay on there too. We got to do it. But let's get right to it. So Dame Dash, and he spoke on Moors before, but I wanted to highlight it because what he said in this clip particularly connects to the Quran and what Noble Dryly taught. And so I thought it was really important to show the people that. And then we also going to build a little bit on something Kanye West, also known as Yeezy. He said as well, also very important, connects to Noble Dryly. So without further ado, let me get the link together for you so you can see for yourself. And at this point also, I want to say it's not so much like when I first started making these videos, some years ago, it was about trying to convince others, so Black people, other people in general, like, oh no, this Moorish stuff is real. See, look, that person said it and this person said it. And that was cool at first. Now I'm at a space where it's not important to try to prove it. It's more so, here is some information for you to show you why we need to study what Noble Dryly said even more, because it is very important in these days and times. So let me get this for you. We're going to go ahead and pull it up. Shout out to the 85 South. 85 South is if you're in the building. I don't know about nobody watching that. I don't know if y'all up on that. Peace, peace, peace. Carlisle? I apologize. Peace, Bay. Peace, Evans Bay. Peace, Corey Walker. Peace, anybody that's watching this right now. Okay, we're going to drop that down. I think this is it.
We look at what's logical. And I'm not going to complain. I'm like, that's a good trick. It's fucked up that it's...
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Apologies on the language a little bit, you know what I mean? But I think I can start it from right here.
Torture in this modern day that's going on now. to these kids. So when I go in there, they don't let us tape. But like if I have girls with me, they cry. It's really disturbing, and y'all should check it out one day.
My fault. Just for context, he's speaking about how he spent some times teaching the young people in prison. But let's continue.
But that's how they're programming our kids to accept things, unrecognized trauma, where it's cool for us to hurt each other, glorify it, and also there's an algorithm for it where you get paid and not ever do anything to the people that are oppressing us. It's all a program. If you just sit back and don't do, you just got to look at what's logical. You know what I mean? So I just always look at what's logical, and I'm not going to complain. I'm like, that's a good trick. It's fucked up that it's happening to us. But what's been erased from our memory is when we were in control. Like Moors, we were torturing them. They were our slaves. They've erased all of that history. You never got taught about a Moor in school, right? So there was a time, and I guess when you get abused and you're not that strong, you get very strategic about how you make strong people think they're weak. They've just been tricking us. That's why I laugh at them. But I just been aware of it the whole time. I think it's because of the family that I go into. We've never been bullied. Do anything to the people that are oppressing us. It's all a program. If you just sit back and don't do, you just got to look at what's logical. You know what I mean? So I just always look at what's logical, and I'm not going to complain. I'm like, that's a good trick. It's fucked up that it's happening to us. But what's been erased from our memory is when we were in control. Like Moors, we were torturing them. They were our slaves. They've erased all of that history. You never got taught about a Moor in school, right? So there was a time, and I guess when you get abused and you're not that strong, you get very strategic about how you make strong people think they're weak. They've just been tricking us. That's why I laugh at them.
Powerful. I got to run it back one more time, then I get to talking, man. Shout out to Dame Dash, man. Shout out to my man, Dame Dash. Shout out to Harlem. You know what I mean? Here we go one more time.
But, that's how they're programming our kids to accept things, unrecognized trauma, where it's cool for us to hurt each other, glorify it. And also there's an algorithm for it where you get paid and not ever do anything to the people that are oppressing us. It's all a program. If you just sit back and don't do, you just got to look at what's logical. You know what I mean? So I just always look at what's logical, and I'm not going to complain. I'm like, that's a good trick. It's fucked up that it's happening to us. But what's been erased from our memory is when we were in control. Like Moors, we were torturing them. They were our slaves. They've erased all of that history. You never got taught about a Moor in school, right? So there was a time, and I guess when you get abused and you're not that strong, you get very strategic about how you make strong people think they're weak. They've just been tricking us. That's why I laugh at them. But I just been aware of it the whole time. I think it's because of the family that I go into. We've never been bullied. And just the people I grew up around. We've never been on that end. We were always like the people that bullied the bully. I'm not saying me, but the people I was around. And I appreciated the fact that I didn't have to do what they did, and that I could do what I wanted freely. And that.
All right. Peace, Reese. Peace, brother Nelson L. Building with Dame Heavy earlier this year. That's how we got to do it. We got to, each one teach one. But let's get to what Dame said. They didn't teach us that we were Moors in school, right? I know I can speak for myself. Wasn't taught, you know what I mean? In none of my schools, in college either. And, that's a whole nother issue. But what was key in what he said also was he spoke about a time when our ancestors had European people enslaved. Ooh, oh man. And see, we can't just leave it at what somebody says, because man knows not by being told. So we got to do some investigating, do some research. Is this true? Was it a time that Moors had Europeans enslaved? Oh, now that brings up it's a deep point, because when you understand, history, and you really understand what's going on, it puts some things in the proper context. Let's put it in the proper context, shall we? Now we're gonna go to the good book. We're gonna let's look at what Noble Dry Lee taught us. We're gonna pull up the Circle 7 Quran. All right. Let me get out the way so y'all can see. One second. Boop. There you go. So we move to the Circle 7 Quran. We are in chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. Okay. All right. And it speaks about, lineage and the Canaanites. It speaks about Cush. It speaks about, the Moabites. It speaks about a lot of different things. But I wanted to highlight this line right here, line 16. Well, I'll read 16 and 17, but the really one I'm focusing on is 16. It says, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. Again, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. My goodness. Like, oh man, did I send that email? Gotta send that email to myself. One second. Because it got the links. Yeah, I did that. Boom. So now let me switch over here and pull up some links for you to further highlight that fact. Because it's true. Every nation has suffered slavery. Oh, peace, Abdul Amin. Aleem, excuse me. Dang. Where my email at? They playing games with the email. It's cool. I'll look it up this way. 1 second. Because I looked up, I had the little Amazon books ready. You know what I mean? I had the whole get down ready, man. Oh man. Okay, I'm just doing a quick search. Okay, cool. We found it anyway. Here we go. Now let me pull up this research information to validate what Dame Dash said about when Moors had Europeans enslaved, and it also verifies that every nation that suffered slavery, which includes European nations and European brothers and sisters, not to excuse or try to justify what's been done to us, but simply to understand that this has been going on. And we can't ignore history. We can't take just the good parts of our ancestry and, when the Moors was doing this and they had the cities and the libraries and all of this, just as much as we highlight that, we can't ignore and try to dismiss some of the parts of the history that aren't so beautiful and aren't so, amazing. We gotta understand fully what was going on. So this right here is a link from Ohio State University. This is from March 2004. Can you see that there? Yeah. When Europeans were slaves, research suggests white slavery, quote unquote, white slavery was much more common than previously believed. And this is by Jeff Gravemeyer. Okay, cool. Any highlights? Oh, well, no, this is a different book. Let me see. I'm gonna open this link too. Here it goes. So, at the top of the article, a new study suggests that 1 million or more European Christians were enslaved by Muslims in North Africa North Africa, Muslims. We're talking about Moorish people. Between 1530 and 1780. See, 1530 to 1780. That's right around the time that Moors had lost power in Al-Andalusia, or Southern Europe, in North Africa, that region. And then as it progresses into 1780, that's also, the so-called quote unquote discovery of America, and then, the creation of the United States of America in 1774. Let me see. I don't want to get into this research things, but let's see if there's more. It says in a quote here from Davis, much of what has been written gives the impression that there were not many slaves and minimizes the impact that slavery had on Europe. Most accounts only look at slavery in one place, or only for a short period of time. But when you take a broader, longer view, the massive scope of this slavery and its powerful impact become clear. Mm. Mm. Is there anything I wanted to show you? Okay, here we go. Because this goes to what Dame Dash was saying about the programming. One of the things that both the public and many scholars have tended to take as a given is that slavery was always racial in nature, that only blacks, quote unquote, blacks, have been slaves. But that is not true, David said. We cannot think of slavery as something that only white people did to black people. I'm going to repeat that one more time. We cannot think of slavery as something that only white people did to black people. And that goes back to what Noble Drew Ali said in via the Quran Circle 7, says through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery. Every nation. So it's not just about race or a color. You know what I mean? It goes, enslavement was a very real possibility for anyone who traveled in the Mediterranean or who lived along the shores in places like Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal, and even as far north as England and Iceland. Oh, here, last little piece. It says pirates from cities along the Barbary coast in North Africa, cities such as Tunis and Algiers, would raid ships in the Mediterranean and Atlantic, as well as seaside villages, to capture men, women, and children. The impact of these attacks was devastating. France, England, and Spain each lost thousands of ships, and long stretches of the Spanish and Italian coast were almost completely abandoned by their inhabitants. My goodness. Slavery was vicious, and it didn't just happen. You want it to be one way. You want it to be one way. Well, it's the other way. It's why. You know. But the truth is that slavery was a vicious thing, but it didn't just happen to so-called black people, or to our ancestors, but it was and it is, because there's still slavery that's happening in some parts of the world, unfortunately. But my point was to just highlight and verify what Dame Dash was saying. One, he spoke about us being Moors and how they programmed to keep that history from us. But then further than that, he speaks on the fact that in our history there is a time when Moors or Muslims is sometimes, if you look into the history, Moors is used synonymous with Muslims, and also North Africans and Berbers. Anyways, but just showing you. Let me get one more link just to get it. The book. That's what I wanted to show you. Let me do that real quick for you to read more. If you want to read more about more. Oh, here we go. Boom. Okay, a couple of them. Cool. If you want to study more about this history, you can check out this book here. Then we're gonna go to a couple of things that my man Ye said. Oh. All right, this book is Barbarian Cruelty, an eyewitness account of white slavery under the Moors. I mean, goodness gracious. And you talk about the truth right in your face. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but it says it plain, plain as day. Golly. The paperback, I just saw this. The paperback version of this book is $81. Boy, it sounds like they trying to hide something from you. $81 for this? Man, I got to do some research, man. I got to get this. But it says an eyewitness account of white slavery under the Muslims of North Africa, also known as Moors. It is a simple fact of the anti-white establishment that the transatlantic slave is known to all, but knowledge of the quote-unquote Muslim slave trade in Europeans is deliberately suppressed. Ooh. Oh, okay. So this is the okay. Interesting book. I don't want to read too much more because I want to get into this book myself. This actually wasn't the one that I was trying to point out, but it's the first one that popped up. It says during the 1600s that Barbary corsairs, pirates from the Barbary coast, were at their most active and terrible. With the full support of the Moorish rulers of North Africa, these Muslim slavers raided southern Europe and the Atlantic European coast, Britain and Ireland almost at will. My goodness. My goodness, we gonna get to that book in real soon. But that's one book, and then the other one that I wanted to highlight real quick is this one is called White Gold. Hold on one second. Bam, here we go. White Gold: The Extraordinary Story of Thomas Pellow and North Africa's 1 million European slaves. So this was the book that I originally was trying to find. Stumbling onto that other one is crazy. $81. See, now this one you get on the Kindle for $12, $11.99. You know what I mean? I don't know what that says necessarily about this story versus the other one, but if you ain't got $81, you can at least start here. Real quick, I just read this. This is the forgotten story of the million white Europeans snatched from their homes and taken in chains to the great slave markets of North Africa to be sold to the highest bidder, ignored by their own governments and forced to endure the harshest conditions. Very few lived to tell the tale. Pello was bought by the tyrannical Sultan of Morocco, who was constructing an imperial pleasure palace of enormous scale and grandeur, built entirely by Christian slave labor. As his personal slave, he would witness firsthand the barbaric splendor of the imperial court, as well as the daily terror of the cruel regime. Very interesting story. Definitely going to check this one out as well. Did I want to highlight one more? I think that's enough. I think you can see the picture clearly that there was a time in history, not too long ago, you know what I mean, the 1500s, 1600s, which is right after the fall of Granada and Moors falling out of power. There was this slave trade, you know what I mean? It's people being enslaved. And it wasn't just, black people taken from Africa and, brought over here and chained. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to highlight. It wasn't just about that, but, unfortunately, slavery was something that was going on and happening across the world. And everybody was a potential victim, not even potential, was a victim. As we know from the Quran, Circle 7, that every nation has suffered through slavery. The other thing that I wanted to highlight, let me just make sure I got everything with Dame Dash. Yeah, well, also check out the rest of that interview, 85 South Show, Dame Dash, amazing build, discussion about doing for self, business knowledge, and just some funny stuff. You know what I mean? If you're into that. But I also wanted to highlight Kanye, yay, because he also been on a similar high, yeah, I mean, dropping jewels. And I know people want to try to classify him as, this or that, but the truth is the truth, man. We cannot get away from the truth. Let's see. Where was the 1 second? 10:30. 10:30. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah, we don't want that commercial, dog. We don't want that commercial, my guy. There you go. Boom. Real quick. Real quick. All right, let's check it out.
You know what I'm saying? I think that pretty much wraps up everything I'm
That's
saying.
how strong of a vessel you are.
I'm just saying they
Yeah, take out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, come on.
I'm just saying
I'm just saying. Come on. Come on.
they
Go.
can make him sound crazy
Sorry,
because he's black.
Nick, what you care about crazy?
No,
And by the way,
Before I play the clip, I want you, because this is the part where he's talking. So he's talking about a lot of different issues. Earlier in the clip, he talks about how we're the Native Americans, we're the indigenous people, and this land was stolen. I want to get into that part also, but I want to take more time for that. But I wanted to highlight this part specifically. And I want you to pay attention, because in this, I'm gonna run it back just a little bit. In this part, he's building, and the lady that's about to get escorted out, she keeps kind of interrupting him. And as she's leaving, she says, they're trying to make him look crazy or something because he's black. And I want you to pay attention to look at his eyes and look at how he reacts when she says the word crazy and then following up with black. It's very interesting, man. Ye is not.
I think that
He's not crazy. I want to say that.
pretty much wraps up
Okay.
everything I'm
That's how
saying.
strong of a vessel you are.
I'm just saying they
Yeah, take out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, come on.
I'm just saying
I'm just saying. Come on. Come on.
they can make him sound crazy because he's black.
Nick, what you care about crazy?
No,
And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Yeah.
We're Native American.
Yeah.
How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family?
Yeah, I'm first.
We're not black. Actually, I'm gonna get into a little bit of that today. He says very clearly, we're not black. Oh my goodness. See, they run with all sorts of, quotes, and they want to highlight certain things. They don't really focus on this part, do they? They ain't really highlight this part, did they? You feel me? It's a reason for it. Let me run it back just so you can hear it one more time.
I'm just saying they
Yeah, take out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, come on.
I'm just saying
I'm just saying. Come on. Come on.
they can make him sound crazy because he's black.
Nick, what you care about crazy?
No,
And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Yeah.
We're Native American.
Yeah.
How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family?
Yeah, I'm first. Period.
Wait a second, but what happened to the Indians? We black. Show me black on the planet.
Because he's the
Why you
last
stop
row
recording?
left. He knows the fucking shit.
Why you sound crazy? Nah, because you think I sound crazy.
No, you don't.
Hold on. Let me get the big screen real quick. They said, man, show me black on the planet. Hey, man, show me where it's at. Man, come on, man. Who that sound like? Man, you know it's happening. You know what's going on, man. You ain't know what's up. You ain't know what's up. The important thing is, do you know what's up? Do you know that you're not black or Negro or colored or African American or Afro American or Black American or melanated foundational Black American? We ain't none of them made up labels that they've placed on us. As it says by my man Noble Drew Ali, come all ye Asiatic American, hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. We're not blacks. We're not Negroes. We're not colored. Now, Ye said, we Indian, Native American, that's a nuanced conversation. But I will highlight this real quick before I get up out of here. I wanted to highlight this real quick. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave that. But what I will do, I'll come back to that when I get into a full discussion. But I wanted to highlight this just because of the guest that's speaking. We got Dame Dash, we got Ye. So, I feel like I got to highlight my man Cash out here. Cash Ibn Said Ibn Aswad. Yeah, see, most people don't know about my man. Yes, sir. We're going to pull him up. Man. Let's see if we can find this right here. See, and they kind of changed it a little bit. Oh, they didn't change it a little bit on us. Hold on, no. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out real quick, my guy. Where is this at? Hold on 1 second. I want to get the proper link. My man Cash. I don't know if anybody heard of Cash before I get up out of here. There it go. See, it kind of changed up the information on us, huh? But it's cool. We got it anyway. Just need to find me the proper link so I could get it. Come on, my guy. We got to show him Cash. There you go. Man. They really tried to hide Cash from the boy. You know what I mean? But Cash, my man Cash, Ibn Said Ibn Aswad, he was a Moorish navigator. Yes, sir. Moorish navigator. And what time was he navigating? That's the trip of it. Let me get the screen so you can see for yourself real quick. Am I done with Ye? Oh, my fault. Boom. Do that there. Then we're going to get up out of here. Any questions before I get up out of here on what was said today, the lessons today? See, here we go. Very little known fact. I don't feel like I've heard any too many people speaking about Cash. You know what I mean? Cash Ibn Said Ibn Aswad was an Andalusian navigator, also Moorish navigator, because Andalusia was the name when Moors ruled, what we know as southern Spain or southern Europe. According to Muslim historian Abu al-Hasan Ali al-Masudi, Cash sailed over the Atlantic Ocean and discovered a previously, quote unquote, previously unknown land. In his book, The Meadows of Gold, al-Masudi writes that Cash Ibn Said Ibn Aswad sailed into the Atlantic Ocean in 1889 and returned with a shipload of valuable treasures. At 889, Columbus was said, quote unquote, to discover America 1492. My man Cash was out there making moves, dipped over here in 889. It's like almost 500 years, a little bit more than 500 years before Columbus. And it says further, Ali's historical account, Meadows of Gold, and this is in 947 CE, 947 CE. In the ocean of fogs, the Atlantic, there are many curiosities which we have mentioned in detail in our Akbar Az-Zaman, News of Our Era. On the basis of what we saw there, adventurers who penetrated it on the risk of their life, some returning safely, others perishing in the attempt. Thus, a certain inhabitant of Cordoba, Cash by name, assembled a group of young men, his co-citizens, other Moors, okay, and went on a voyage on this ocean. After a long time, he returned with booty, with treasure. Every Spaniard knows this story. Every Spaniard knows this story. But see, I want to highlight. Oh, never mind. Here we go, right there. The same passage in Alois Springer's 1841 English translation. So the historical account was written in 947 CE. So it's not the 947. This is still so it's about 600. Still 500 years before Christopher Columbus when it was written. Then the same part was translated and interpreted by some authors in 1841 to imply that. Well, see, this part is saying that it was a fanciful tale. But let me highlight this one right here. But even in the fanciful tale, let me highlight that before I go to this other one. Even in this one, it says it calls him a Moor. Even when they try to make it seem like it was a fanciful tale, it says, there he will find an account of those crews who risked their lives in navigating the sea, and who of them have escaped and who have been shipwrecked, also what they have encountered and seen. Such an adventurer was a Moor of Spain, of the name Cash. He was a young man of Cordoba. Having assembled some young men, they went aboard a vessel which they had ready on the ocean, and nobody knew for a long time what had become of them. At length they came back loaded with rich booty. Their history is well known among the people of Al-Andalus. So I guess, I would need to read Alois Springer's translation to get the context. But I guess the English, the European folks, you know what I mean, they wanted to say, oh man, that's just like an amazing tale. It just, you know what I mean? Just a fanciful tale. But no, my man Cash was really out here, really bounced across the Atlantic, touched down in the Americas, and came on back with all sorts of treasure. And this was long before Christopher Columbus and any of those people. Now, what does that have to do with Yay? And what Native American? Well, obviously that there was voyages going on long before Christopher Columbus discovered. Now, when you look deeper into the history, and I'll do a bill later on that because this isn't the class for that. But when you look deeper into the history, you see plenty of references and evidence that show that it was dark-skinned, quote unquote, African people, Moors, here in this land centuries before Columbus and them or any European colonizers came over and came to this land. That's just a simple fact. And then, when you get deeper into it, we're talking about Mansa Musa and his brother and what happened to, the person before Mansa Musa became the ruler and him coming over here. And then you go back further, you look into the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Olmecs, and then you understand the connection and that this has been going on for centuries. But let me bring it all the way back around. All right. Let me bring it all the way back around to Nova Ali. And then I leave it with something for you to think about. And then I'm going to get up out of here. Nova Ali said in the chapter, was it 47? No. 40. Not 47. Oh, yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, we right back to 47. All right, we'll do that. Do that and close it on out of here. Okay. Yeah, let me just highlight this real quick. Just to show another link This is from just just from 2016. Teaching children about Islam in America. Shout out to the sister. I'm not sure of her name. Does it say her name? I don't see her name, but shout out to the sister that wrote this blog. It says very clear. Cash Ibn Said Ibn Aswad was a Moorish navigator living in Andalusia. Okay, real clear, crystal clear. And then a little bit further, it goes down. As for pictures of Cash, an author named Gerd Numator writes a book about Cash Ibn Said and uses a picture of a statue of a Moor who was likely a sailor to give readers an idea of what he may look like. The picture of the statue looks very similar to the people who dress up for the National Day of Valencia, which is celebrated today to mark the end of Muslim occupation in Spain. I found the picture of people dressed as Moors in Spain at the festival on this website. All right. Let me close out. Let me just close out with this. Because when we talk about the land and who is indigenous and Native Americans, you know, it's a larger discussion. But I just wanted to highlight this on my way out. I appreciate the question. Shabbat shalom. Shalom. Peace. And Cash was a dark melanated Moor. No, I'm not sharing this on TikTok because I am not on the tick of the talk or the talking of the tick. No, I'm not. Yeah. That's too old, huh? My son said I'm too old. I need to get with the times.
No, that's like it's just corny.
Oh, it's just corny. Excuse me. It's not just old. It's just corny. Closing out real quick. Back in chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. It says, in this ancient time, but just to give you the context, the Moabites from the land of Moab, who received the permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, they were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion, now the Moabites, their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast to southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. Now, I highlight that to you, and I'm going to say it again. The dominion and habitation, where the people was at, and Moabites is the ancient, the Moors are descendants, the ancient descendants, or the descendants of the ancient Moabites. So it's Moabites, then you come down and you get to Moors, then you come on down and you got Moorish Americans here in America. If you trace it back, that's how we looking. And it's saying that their inhabitation, their dominion, where they was at, extended from northeast and southwest Africa. So northeast Africa, all the way down to southwest Africa, and then across Great Atlantis and on to the Americas, north, south, and central. Let me start. I'll show you the map real quick. I don't know if you can see, but this is Africa, and this is a different kind of map. This is Peter World's map. Check out Peter's World's map. But anyways, northeast to southwest Africa, and then all of that was where Moabites anciently inhabited. So when we speak about indigenous and Native Americans, this is speaking about how our ancestors were on this land before there was an Atlantic Ocean, back when there was still a land called Atlantis. Now that gets into a way deeper discussion, more than I'm gonna get into at this moment. Oh, it actually existed, sir.
There's talking fish people?
Yeah, it actually existed. But
That salmon must be busting.
hold on, man. But I highlight I highlight that to say you got to know yourself. Do the knowledge, study the history. Don't just take, this information that Noble Drew Ali brought as just some religious material and just something to believe. No, look into this. Investigate what it said. You know what I mean? Do the research so you can know for yourself. Because it's clear, if it hasn't been clear already, Kanye said we not blacks. Nah. Where's black on the planet? You can't find it. Dame Dash, the man that believed and helped, get Kanye, into the game as a MC, as a rapper, as an artist, Dame Dash on it. There's a time when, our history as Moors, but it wasn't taught to us. We was programmed in school. Yes, these folks know what's up. The question is, do you know what's up? And if you know what's up, are you teaching your people? Each one got to teach one, especially if you're Moorish, especially if you know what I mean? If you know Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish science, if you got this information, you got to teach, man. You got to help uplift the people. But that's all I got right now on this matter. I will be tapping back in a little bit because I wanted to ask and have a discussion with Moorish Americans on something, which is specifically for Moorish Americans. So if you interested in that, come back on like 15 minutes. I'll be back online. We can have a discussion. Maybe you could chime in if you want. I would love to hear your thoughts on this because it's a very important and relevant question to what's going on today. Yeah, any other questions? Okay. It's a great platform for learning and sharing. All right, Hebrew law. Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. I mean, just you and y'all. I don't want to be in front of the camera. That's part of the reason why I kind of fell back from the teaching. I'm just not interested in being on the camera like that. So I got to figure out a way to make it work on the tick of the talk.
Dad, don't.
What? The tick of the talk?
Don't call it that. Don't call it TikTok.
my man's
Go on Twitter or something.
my man
Go on Facebook.
my son said I can't call it the tick of the talk or the talk of the tick. It sounds better to me. Anyways, but I appreciate that perspective. I definitely I received that. I got to figure out a way that I can do that, and I just got to figure out a way to make that happen. That's all I got for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Again, if you want to have a build about some more science information specifically, I'm gonna be back on in about 15 minutes, building with Moors. You know what I mean? I can drop the link if you got something to say, you want to contribute to the conversation, because I think it is not even, I know it's crucial that we get an understanding of this. And the issue is just like a micro issue to the macro of what's going on. But I'll say that for the video. Thank you. Much love. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. Let's have a beautiful day. All right. Peace. Ooh.